Tùy con thôi chị. Đây còn mụn mụn này, viêm viêm ở đâu à? Qua Tết thì cho em đi 2-3 buổi nữa cho sạch luôn nhé. Phim rồi phải chịu thăm thôi. Bình thường thì không được. Mới vậy đi sớm à, sướng. Có lan chứ chị. Nó có lan xong nó xuất hiện một mới, nó nhiều hơn. Ví dụ để càng lâu thì nó sẽ có hiện. Đấy, 2 con này là từ những cái con này nè, để lâu quá mà nó viêm là nó thành cục bự vậy đấy.
Để lưu ấy à?
Dạ.
Theo dõi đúng không?
Đúng rồi chị.
Ôi dồi ôi, sao hay vậy chồng.
Em có YouTube mà, em làm YouTube mà.
Thì con trai kìa.
Không, em làm YouTube nặng một đó.
À vậy à?
Dạ.
À.
Sẹo, tại vì ngày xưa em là đã từng bị sẹo mà.
Con trai kìa, chú là YouTuber đấy. Không gọi điện này.
Không, cứ bình thường.
Kinh khủng này.
Thêm độ đấy.
Chị cũng chuẩn bị được.
Đóng cửa lại giúp chị vậy. Hồi hôm nặng cái cuối mà 66 rồi. Trời ơi. tìm mụn tìm thêm họa luôn. Nhìn thấy nhiều má nặng.
Nhà được chặt lạnh lắm chị.
Mình cái lây quay thấy mà lon.
Thấy nặng không?
Ừ.
Những người đó nặng. Quay lại hả? Quay thì nhanh hơn đi.
Lấy nhiều hơn đúng không? Thì nhìn phát biết
Lâu mà đi
ngay.
nhà đặng có cày nó uống nước túi còn cày.
À, hay.
Coi khà nó túi rồi.
Nói chị đó. Quay thì em nặng quay đi.
Guốc cũng ăn hết rồi.
Tổng hồi nãy cái này trừ cái là 2 cái này.
Một giờ này cũng đen. Cho chặt trời đá cho nè.
Chị Văn này.
Hàng gì trong bụng. Giá trị vậy sao? To mà. Ra mấy ngồi luôn.
Nó mà đi hay đi là lấy à?
Ừ, trước rồi Hiển còn làm cái gì không?
Dạng làm ở liền lấy.
Còn chuyển được.
Dạ mua ưng chuyển qua đó thuê nhà bên kia. Dạ. Mình tốn tiền lãi.
Không về nhà mới không mời chị hết trơn.
Em có về nhà mới đâu. Không có ở đâu. Cái trường chưa được thì
Dịch
mới.
không?
Dịch. Alo.
Cái nửa cỡ thấy là cái hôm qua là mùa nữa. Dạ dạ.
Ok em.
Còn hát là nó tội.
cố gắng vậy à.
Nó lấy là trăm ba nha. Cái này nó quản lý thôi, chắc là tự nhiên là hắn là tự nhiên anh bài.
Suzuki step into a parallel universe. Next-gen V-Strom and SV spied with new engine platform. Suzuki's SV650 family, including the V-Strom 650, is one of the most successful and long-lived of modern middleweights, dating way back to 1999, but these spy shots reveal an all-new successor is coming. Spotted undergoing testing in mainland Europe, the shots reveal two models, a naked, SV-type roadster and V-Strom adventure bike, both using the same all-new engine platform. The much-loved old 645 cubic centimeters V-twin of the current SV and V-Strom has finally bitten the dust and has been replaced by an all-new twin, but now not in a V configuration but in the parallel twin layout, which now dominates the category with the Yamaha MT-07 family, KTM 790 and 890 Dukes and Adventures, the Aprilia RS 660 and Tuono 660, and even Honda's expected new 750 Transalp. Exact capacity of the new engine is not yet known, although 800 cubic centimeters seems most likely. It'll also be fuel-injected and ECU controlled and is expected to offer riding modes plus other electronic aids. The new engine also means an all-new chassis. Although the exact frame type can't be discerned from these pictures, it is likely to be a tubular steel trellis, mostly for cost reasons. A matching tubular steel rear subframe can be seen. The monoshock-operated swing arm is in cast aluminium while both models have beefy inverted forks and multifunction LCD, not TFT, digital displays. But that is where the similarities between the two end. The SV replacement has 17 inches cast alloy wheels, twin Nissan radial brakes, a stubby, underslung exhaust and all-new bodywork with styling, particularly at the front with a new headlamp cowling housing two stacked LEDs, clearly inspired by Suzuki's recent GSX-S 1000. The Adventure V-Strom version has 19/17-inch off-road style wire wheels, more basic brakes, a higher exhaust, for off-road clearance, bash plate and bodywork and styling influenced by the current model, albeit also with the new stacked headlights. Although disguised, the two bikes look largely finished, suggesting they will be unveiled at the EICMA show in November as 2023 models. Suzuki's new parallel twin models in detail. Parallel lives, out goes the old, much-loved, 645 cubic centimeters V-twin, and comes an all-new, more conventional parallel twin, similar to that of the MT-07 and other rivals. Sassy chassis. The new frame is likely to be tubular steel trellis, while suspension and brakes comprise beefy USDs and a mix of radial and conventional Nissans. GSX-S styling. SV Roadster replacement may get the GSX-S name. It's no longer a V-twin and has styling clearly derived from the GSX-S 1000. It's stacked. Both models have twin, stacked LED headlights which also debuted on the GSX-S 1000 and are a Suzuki signature. Phil West. By Phil West. You may also like Moto Guzzi V100 Mandello, 2023 on Review. Author Michael Neves. Published October 24, 2022. Updated November 3, 2022. Moto Guzzi's new V100 is no thrown-together parts bin special. New from the ground up, it's beautifully crafted with design cues from Guzzi's glittering history. Slits in its side panels mimic their 1976 Sierra Leonean Leon's Mans 850 and the top fairing tips a hat to the 81 Le Mans 853. It's evocative stuff, right down to the V100 Mandello's name that pays tribute to it home and a celebration of Guzzi's 100th birthday in 2021. But it's anything but a misty-eyed, two-wheeled reminisce. It's thoroughly modern with a tasteful color dash and lean-sensitive rider aids. Go for the 15,750-pound S model and you get extra goodies like semi-active Olane's Smart EC 2.0 semi-active suspension and an up/down quick shifter, too. In terms of elegance and detailing, the Guzzi puts its sports touring rivals in the shade, but what is the competition? The Kawasaki Ninja 1000SX, Suzuki GSX S1000 GT, and BMW R1250 RS are obvious rivals, but in the flesh, it looks like a lowrider Yamaha Tracer 9, or Honda Northern Territory 1100. The Moto Guzzi's upright riding position even has shades of Aprilia Tuono V4 about it, which is no surprise as they're both developed by Piaggio at their Noali factory near Venice. Technically, the Mandello is a different beast to any previous Guzzi. Not only is it fitted with electronics that wouldn't look out of place on a superbike and a new engine, it's also the first production bike to have adaptive aerodynamics, although their effect is minimal. Flappy wings aside, Moto Guzzi has created a tasteful sports tourer that's neither bland nor shouty and offers the perfect mix of comfort, sportiness, tech and character. It's pricey, but the V100 Mandello is well made with great attention to detail and feels like a machine that's come from the heart rather than just a model produced to fill a gap in a model range. It's like nothing else around, which is all part of its appeal, and you never get the sense, either by riding or looking at it, that any corners were cut during its journey from design sketch to showroom floor. Ride quality and brakes. Next up, engine. 4 out of 5. April 5th. Although the Mandello might look chunky in pictures with its bold styling, larger-than-life powertrain and chunky exhausts, it sits surprising low. Shorter riders will feel immediately confident being able to get feet flat on the floor, and if the standard 815mm seat height is still too lofty, there's a low accessory seat available. The riding position itself is nigh on perfect. Pegs are sporty without cramping knees. Even for 6-footers like me, a higher accessory seat is available for even more legroom, and its tall bars are placed naturally towards the rider so there's no awkward stretch or excess pressure on your wrists. The seat is comfy and scalloped at the rear to hold you in under acceleration. The screen offers decent wind protection, and with its injection system inside the V of the engine, now that the cylinder heads have been turned round 90 degrees, there's lots more knee room. Ride quality on this semi-active Olane's Clad S model is as plush or sporty as you want it to be, depending on the riding mode you choose, and there's a handy remote rear preload adjuster to twiddle for carrying heavy loads. With its shorter engine, the Mandello is sportier and more agile than previous Guzzis, and thanks to its long swing arm and low pivot point, there's little up/down shaft drive pitching on and off the throttle. Yes, you can feel the back end rise and fall when you ride aggressively, but like the engine's rocking, it's a slight movement and a sensation that quickly melts into the background. But what feeling you lose with a chain you gain with the clean, maintenance-free convenience of that shaft, which is especially useful on a big tour. Tipping the scales at just 136 kilograms, CCM's new Heritage 71T is incredibly light. Pull it off its suicide side stand and it feels more like one of those fat-tired electric bikes between your legs than a motorcycle. That's until you thumb the starter and its snarling 600 cubic centimeters motor barks into life. It's a two-wheel riot of carbon fiber and billet aluminium, but the Heritage 71T is also the first production bike to be built using a titanium frame and swing arm. It's why it's so light, and costs a whopping £29,995. CCM have been innovating with chassis tech since they were formed in 1971, by the man who was the C in CCM, Clues Competition Motorcycles off-road aficionado, Alan Clues. The Bolton factory produced the world's first aluminium trials bike, first aluminium bonded chassis and former 500 cubic centimeters GP Star, Neil Mackenzie won British Championships on their Armstrong Badge 350. Based on their popular handmade Spitfire and built to celebrate the firm's 50th anniversary, but delayed by COVID for a year, only 71 Heritage 71T models will be produced. Its minimalist design might look sparse, but the detailing, fit and finish are MotoGP levels of special. A sub-10 Grand Cafe racer from any of the mainstream manufacturers would be just as enjoyable to ride, so if you haven't got a spare 30 grand knocking around, don't worry, you're not missing out. But the CCM will be worth it to the person with deep pockets and an appreciation of the engineering poured into it. It's a work of art you could stare at all day and never get bored, but it also works beautifully as a motorcycle with a lightness and purity to it that's a world away from anything mass-produced. It takes a CCM engineer a week to handcraft the Heritage's aerospace-grade 3L/2.5 VCW5R titanium chassis and apply its brushed satin finish. It's 6 kilograms lighter than the Spitfire's 4139 chromoly steel chassis. Not only is the 71T a featherweight piece of art that draws a crowd every time we stop during our test, it changes the handling dynamics. The chassis isn't as stiff as a steel-framed Spitfire's, thanks to the exotic material's more spring-like properties. But the CCM is still pure, direct, and there's none of the mush you feel riding a built-down-to-a-production bike with heavy components, sound deadening and vibe protection.